Well, from what I know, apparently the logic behind the Biden administration's desire to remove the razor wire from the Texas border is that undocumented Americans, as they're being called by mainstream media lately, might get hurt. You know, they don't care that it's actually kind of effective. No, their concern is that people might get hurt if they try to cross illegally. Many of the same people who agree with that sort of thing have the same sort of opinion about trying to stop shoplifters from shoplifting. Oh, the shoplifter might get hurt. We have to protect them with the law. I mean, in some of these big cities, it gives criminals more rights than the store owners. It just shows that what you're principled about is just as important as being principled in general. It's the notion that no piece of property or physical object is worth the potential of someone getting hurt over. In other words, just surrender. Even if your business will go bankrupt as a result of it, just surrender. And it's often the same people who are against the notion of people defending their home from an intruder. You know, that it should be illegal to physically assault in any way or restrain or do anything that, you know, oh, I got a bruise on my arm, up. But if it couldn't be proven without a doubt that the person was directly threatening and the homeowner punched out the intruder, yeah, he'd be charged with some sort of a big crime. Now, the laws about this vary state to state, so, you know, but in a lot of the more liberal parts of the country, you just don't hardly have any rights as far as that goes. I don't know, but with all of this stuff going on, it's still not enough, according to a lot of the, I don't know what to call it. It's just something that's become more common. I could say the left, but is it really the left? I don't know. Things are sometimes the left-right paradigm is kind of false. There's a lot of strange crossover, you know, but with all this going on, it's still not enough. We're supposed to continue to reduce the amount of power that police have, while apparently putting more of that money into things like counseling. We're supposed to continue to reduce the consequences of lower crimes, especially crimes that are associated with marginalized communities. We're supposed to ignore crime statistics until we can't ignore them anymore. And when we do look at them, we're supposed to blame those statistics on hateful and judgmental police forces. We're simply supposed to ignore what's happening in so many large U.S. cities. It goes like this. It's not happening. And if it is happening, it's not as bad as what your senses are telling you. And if it is that bad, you're supposed to blame it on late-stage capitalism and greedy businesses. When businesses close in the most crime-ridden areas, we're supposed to blame the closures on systemic racism.
These closures are not arbitrary and they are not innocent. They are life-threatening acts of racial and economic discrimination.
I mean, if we want society to crumble even more, we can keep going down this path. It will especially be interesting if or when we let these millions of illegal immigrants, who are mostly of military age, males, get away with far more crimes than the people who were born here. But they're immigrants. They don't know any better. Well, if they don't know any better, then why do we want them coming into the country in record numbers? Oh, that's right. It's part of that false notion that all cultures have equal merit under the systems of any country and are all equally compatible with our version of capitalism. Diversity can be a strength when it's done right, you know, which is when it happens organically, where people come together for a common cause or reason. When it's done wrong, it can be disastrous. You know, in one way or another, we'll have to lower standards. Just lower your standards. Just reduce the consequences for lower crimes. Just lower everything, right? It's not, that's not good for any country. Is our version of capitalism great? Not really, but I mean, I guess I shouldn't say our version of capitalism because, I mean, yeah, the U.S. version of capitalism, it's not regulated enough in areas that it needs to be, and it's not free enough in other areas that it needs to be. But so we've got some problems. But I guess I'm really, really focusing on just Western civilization in general. Can you think of anything that's better right now? that's successful, that the people living under it are happy and have a chance of upward mobility in some way? I mean, yeah, there's tons of things that are on paper that look great. That just, oh my God, it's so much better than that we've got here. Yeah, how are you going to implement that? The way reality is, it's not. You can have these great majestic plans, but the moment you try to actually implement it, it's going to be quite different. You know, you can't change human instinct and the randomness and chaotic nature of humanity and expect, you know, this thing you have on paper to work out right, you know. And when you're dismantling the systems that exist in a country, there is going to be a power vacuum and there is going to be a new hierarchy that's created. How do you think that your ideas with that could be so much better, how do you suppose that will make its way into the hierarchy? You know, the problem with a lot of these ideas is that they only work on paper. Western civilization has built many, many great things. It has also committed many horrible atrocities. I get that a lot of people genuinely want to dismantle what we currently have and replace it with something theoretical. But I just don't think they realize what that entails. Just saying.